Welcome to my world. Won't you come on in? Miracles I get still happen now and then. Step into my heart, leave your cares behind. Welcome to my world, built with you in mind. Knock on the door will open. Seek and you will find. Ask and you'll be given the key to this world of mine. I'll be waiting here with my arms unfurled, waiting just for you. Welcome to my Knock and the door will open. Seek and you will find. Ask and you'll be given the key to this world of mine. I'll be waiting here with my arms unfurled, waiting just for you. Welcome to my world.
I am grateful to have been loved and to be loved now and to be able to love, because that liberates. Love liberates. It doesn't just hold. That's ego. Love liberates. When my son was born, I was 17. My mother had a huge house, 14-room house. At 17, I went to her and said, I'm leaving. She asked me, you're leaving my house? And she had live-in help. I said, yes. I found a job, and I've got a room with cooking privileges down the hall, and the landlady will be the babysitter. She asked me, you're leaving my house? I said, yes, ma'am. And you're taking the baby? I said, yes. She said, all right, remember this. When you step over my door sill, you've been raised. You know the difference between right and wrong. Do right. Don't let anybody raise you and make you change. And remember this, you can always come home. I went home every time life slammed me down and made me call it uncle. I went home with my baby. My mother never once acted as I told you so. She said, oh, baby's home. Oh, my darling, Mama's going to cook you something. Mother's going to make this for you. Love. She liberated me to life. She continued to do that. When my son may have been 5 years old, my mother would pick him up all the time and feed him and I went to her once a month, and she would cook for me. So one day I went to her house, and she'd cooked red rice, which I loved. After we finished eating, we walked down the hill, and she started to cross the street. She said, "Wait a minute, baby." I was 22 years old. She said, "Wait a minute, baby. You know, I think you're the greatest woman I've ever met." She said, "Mary McLeod Bethune, Eleanor Roosevelt, and my mother, you're in that category." Then she said, "Give me a kiss." I gave her a kiss, and I got onto the streetcar. I can remember the way the sun fell on the slats of the wooden seats. I sat there and I thought about her. I thought, suppose she's right. She's intelligent. And she says she's too mean to lie. So suppose I am going to be somebody. She released me. She freed me to say I may have something in me that would be of value. Maybe not just to me. You see? That's love. And when she was in her final sickness, I went out to San Francisco. And the doctor said she had three weeks to live. I asked her, "Would you come to North Carolina?" She said yes. She had emphysema and lung cancer. I brought her to my home. She lived for a year and a half. And when she was finally, in extremis, she was on oxygen and fighting cancer for her life. And I remembered her liberating me. And I said, I hope I'll be able to liberate her. She deserved that from me. She deserved a great daughter, and she got one. So in her last days, I said, now, I understand that some people need permission to go. As I understand it, you may have done what God put you here to do. You were a great worker. You must have been a great lover, because a lot of men, and if I'm not wrong, maybe a couple of women, risk their lives to love you. You were a piss-poor mother of small children, but you were a great mother of young adults. And if you need permission to go, I liberate you. I went back to my house, and something said, go back. I was in my pajamas. I jumped in my car and ran, and the nurse said, she's just gone. You see, love liberates. It doesn't bind. Love says, I love you. I love you if you're in China. I love you if you're across town. I love you if you're in Harlem. I love you. I would like to be near you. I'd like to have your arms around me. I'd like to hear your voice in my ear. But that's not possible now. So
I'd like to build the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I'd like to hold it in my arms and keep it company. I'd like to see the world for once, all standing hand in hand, and hear them echo through the hills for peace throughout the land. It's the real thing, what the world wants today. That's the way it'll stay, with the real peace and love. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony, a song of peace that echoes on and never goes away. Put your hand in my hand, Let's begin today. With your hand in my hand, help me find the way. I'd like to see the world go on, standing hand in hand, and hear them echo through the hills for peace throughout the land. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony, a song of peace that echoes on and never goes away. I'd like to teach the world to
From the first, I saw no chance of bettering the condition of the freed man. Until he should cease to be merely a freed man and should become a citizen. I insisted that there was no safety for him or for anybody else in America outside the American government, that to guard, protect, and maintain his liberty, the freed man should have the ballot, that the liberties of the American people were dependent upon the ballot box, the jury box, the cartridge box, that without these no class of people could live and flourish in this country. The true power of a dream. When I think about Frederick Douglass, I think about a man who had a dream. Born a slave, became free, and decided to be a part of the transformation of this country. He did so in amazing ways. One of the things he said, and at least one of the things he thought consistently, was that education leads to emancipation. And today in the 21st century, we find ourselves stuck in the same place, where we understand that if we harness the power of education, it leads to freedom. This thought for me started as I learned more and more about the life of Frederick Douglass. Here's a man who understood the power of education. He also understood the power of being an American. As opposed to trying to find a way to dismantle the system of America, he stood strong on the fact that the Constitution of the United States was the strongest document in existence for the freedom of the slaves. This was a powerful thought. I look back now and we understand that the Constitution was in fact the foundation of much of Frederick Douglass's confidence in our country. This is an amazing thing for the times that he lived in. Understanding the power of the Constitution, understanding the power of freedom, he fought for all of our freedom. He didn't fight for just freedom for African Americans. He fought for the right for women to be integrated into the society in which they lived. He fought for the freedom of women to be completely involved in every facet of life. He fought for all of us. And so when I think about Frederick Douglass, I think about a man with a vision. You know, there's an old scripture in the book of Proverbs, Proverbs 29:18. It says, without a vision, people perish. Another version says people cast off restraint. But not Frederick Douglass. He had a vision. And the power of his vision lifted all boats. It's as if the waves kept coming in and life continued to improve, not simply for him, but for the entire country. Because one of the challenges that we faced at the time was the challenge of slavery, and he met it head on. He was vocal. He was strong. He was a man who believed in the destiny of our country. Our party has benefited. We see him so often as one of the founders of the philosophy of the Republican construct. His work with Abraham Lincoln was a powerful testament to two men who were living in their time but had a vision beyond it. I believe that most great men do not realize their greatness as they're living it. We study their greatness. We study the seeds of greatness. We study those component parts that make men great. It's as if ordinary men become extraordinary because of the times that they live and seizing the opportunities. Some people have said that the opportunity of a lifetime must be seized during the lifetime of that opportunity. And for Frederick Douglass, he did just that. And the country has consistently and continuously evolved because of great men like Frederick Douglass. I think African Americans, without any question, we have benefited.